Messi and Co. Breaking Major League en la ciudad del sol. Here in Miami, we know who's el campeón. Leo my team, Suárez on the field, always wearing they team. Como usted ya es un win, the trio of every singing muchachos. Las familias se escuchan los barrios. Esta camiseta pinky la llevan todos los guachos. Los rookies quedan sin comentarios. Messi ambetea, tiki-taki gol. El estadio Chase bañado en gloria y sudor. Aquí se ama y se respeta el balón. Florida es tu casa, acostúmbrate al calor. Estate listo pa' Messi and Co. Estate listo pa' Messi and Co.
What is up, familia? What is up, Messi and Co. 5 Reasons Sports fam? How are y'all doing today? We are back for another episode. This one's live, and it was just an insane game yesterday. So we're here with Matt, your two favorite, and your next other favorite is not here, unfortunately. But
who needs Ashley?
We're gonna take it over. Ashley wishes that she could be here. She was at the game too, and she had a ton of fun. I'm sure she's gonna have a lot of things to talk about, but she's on a trip. We miss her dearly. But your other two favorite co-hosts are right here. Matt, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Dude, I'm pumped, man. I still got the adrenaline rush from yesterday. I'm pumped. I'm excited. We miss Ashley, obviously, so she's not gonna be here to talk about and share the excitement with us today. But I'm like this. I'm at like 100. I'm moving.
Yeah, man. Same thing with me. I still got the adrenaline and everything from yesterday. I was just reading some of the comments. Some of you were already waiting for the episode. This was a crazy, weird live episode that we weren't really planning for, and it came out of nowhere. So that's probably why you guys are just got the noti that just said we're going live now. There was no advance. It was just like, hey, let's do it. Let's just go live. It's recording. Yeah. So some of you were already here. Michael, you were here. Thanks for waiting around. We got Natalia says she likes the cover pick. Just
it's a great
little casual celebration with Messi, partying it up with Messi. Michael says, saludos de Chile. Sick.
Saludos de Chile.
De Chile, nice. We love our Chilean family. I got a lot of Chilean friends and actually some Chilean family as well. Viva Inter Miami. We got Black Story in here. What up, brother?
What up?
But look, man, it's funny because as people are starting to get in, we'll just want to talk about our last episode, right? If you guys watched that one, we were kind of talking about what this game might look like, what our predictions are, what we wanted this game to look like, and I know you and Ashley both said 3-1.
We did, dude. We did. We said it was gonna be a whole a story, man. We talked about how dramatic it was gonna be. We were gonna have the fairy tale ending.
Yeah.
And look what happened.
You guys hit it on.
You went the safe route. You went the safe
route. I went 2-0, and I went 2-0 because I specifically told you guys in that moment I'm going 2-0 because I don't want to live through what we lived through last night. I told you that my heart could not take that. I said literally 2-0. Means that they're not scoring an away goal, because the moment that they score an away goal, it completely changes the game for us. It changes the strategy. It's going to make it more difficult because we're going to have to go more offensive, leaving open spaces in the back. And that's why I went with the 2-0. I was like, I just want to be there, maybe just be calm, relaxed. But at the end of the day, I guess even though it was like that, it's just so much better at the end, right? Like
so much better.
The experience.
That was so much better. And I unfortunately couldn't be there at the game, but watching it just from the couch in my living room at home with my parents and my brothers, and especially when they scored when the LA scored that first goal, I'm like,
my heart sank.
Everything sunk. Everything. And then, but after that, it was just all uphill from there. And the emotions just going through the whole 90 minutes, 100 minutes was I would do it all over again.
You wanted that 3-1, but you're like, not so early, that one.
Not so early.
You're like 3-1. Okay, we're leading 3-0, and maybe they score one in the last.
Maybe that's what I was. That was the best case scenario. Okay, I remember we were talking about this. We were talking about the fact that we don't want them to score first. That was the last thing that we wanted, and that's exactly what we got. But no, I mean, look, listen, at the end of the day, it just made it that much better. Getting 3 goals, and it could have been more. It should have been more. We'll talk about it when, as we go on. But it ended up being a whole lot better, 3-1, and now we're through the semis, baby.
Yeah, we're through the semis
Oof.
finally. It was really tough there. Look, I never lost hope for this team. I said
Never.
it from the beginning. If there was any team that could come back from a 1-0 loss in LAFC and have to battle the fact that away goals count and
Yeah.
and they didn't get any, like, it was this team. It was going to be an uphill battle, but this team was built for these type of moments. The players that they brought in, Macherano, just kind of in the short, I think, history with his team, only a few games in, or I think he's already shown that he's been up to some tough, I think, situations and been able to pull this team out of it. So I never doubted, but there were certainly times where I was shaking,
Yeah.
and I was anxious and nervous, especially towards the end of that match. I was really nervous, but this team really got it done. We have, who do we have here? We've got Ethan says, advance to the final. Do they host? I think what I saw right now, out of the remaining 4 teams that are still in Champions Cup, they have the most points accumulated throughout.
Okay.
And it's funny, I think Vancouver is currently 4th, and they have 4 points. They've only tied games. That's how they've made it through. So
damn.
Yeah, so I think that based off of the amount of points that we have right now, we would have basically like home advantage and all those types of advantages throughout the remainder of the.
So I'm trying to look now because it's us in Vancouver, and then
we're the 2 MLS
Cruz Azul
team,
and then Tigres.
Cruz Azul and Tigres. So it's we'd have to play one of those, and right now I believe that we have the advantage as far as hosting and that sort of thing. And then Michael says, question, is the final a single game or home and away?
I believe a single game. The final,
a single
game.
Yeah. So that would also then, I guess, play into who has the better record and the most points and that sort of thing. So hopefully we end up with a final here in Miami.
That'd be so cool. That'd be exciting. Oh my god, that's gonna be like Leagues Cup all over again. That's gonna and that's gonna be like what? I mean, even U.S. Open Cup when we had it at home. Obviously, we didn't win that one, but like just having another final here. Yeah, that'd be so cool.
Yeah, no, that would be sick, 100%. So what I thought would be a good idea is just maybe as we start this thing off, and we'll get into more strategy and answering your guys' questions. We could probably just bring up the replay of the game. I had watched it earlier, and they had some. They were able to capture within that like highlight reel some really important and key plays that I think would be cool for us to kind of go through and talk about. I think there's just a ton of different storylines. It was one game, and the storylines in here are just insane.
There's so much. It's so much. It's overwhelming.
At points it looked like a UFC match. Like there was so much stuff.
Oh yeah, there was some WWE in there.
WWE as well. Which is funny. Since you're bringing it up, we just talked about it with Maxi Falcon. It was funny because I don't think Maxi meant to do that. I feel like he fell down because there's a moment like he trips over. It looks like he's taking him down, and then he gets up and he's like making a gesture like, bro, I tripped.
No, he was trying to calm down. He was trying to calm everybody down, but it was so funny how he like brought them all down with him.
Yeah, he just had an oh crap look as soon as he pulled them down. Like, I don't think I meant to do that, but
oh my god, the Falcon.
It got pretty intense and pretty rowdy.
It got crazy.
Yeah, let me see if I can bring this up real quick. Hold on, let's see. Okay, so here I could probably just share. Matt, as I bring this up, I guess talk to us just I guess about the first maybe 15-20 minutes. Like, I felt like this team was in a lot of danger early on. And obviously as the game went on, they progressed. Even as the first half went on, they kind of progressed. But like, were you nervous those first? Obviously they scored and all, but I think there were more than just one chance. There was like quite a few chances there. It kind of got ugly. Inter Miami lost their composure. A bit. I don't know. Did you get kind of nervous there at the beginning?
Dude, listen, nervous is like an understatement, I think, because like, listen, obviously we conceded right in 9-10 minutes, but then after that we just didn't look like ourselves. Like we looked like ourselves, like how we were playing these last 2 games, and maybe even a little bit worse. Like it was very worrying. LA were getting chance after chance after chance. It didn't seem like we could have been any sort of threat offensively. And then So like that first 10, 15 minutes, it was just really, we were really struggling. We were really, really struggling and we couldn't break it down. But then, after that, after those 10, 15 minutes, something clicked. We were able to get an opportunity. We were able to get multiple opportunities. We were able to find that momentum. We couldn't quite get the goal. Or no, we did. No, we scored. We equalized. But then after that, we couldn't quite get another one before the half. But like it was like that momentum at the end of that first half was really what kicked off this entire comeback.
Exactly. That's what we tweeted from our account as well, from the Messi and Co account. If you guys aren't following it on X, go ahead and follow it. We were saying if Inter Miami is able to keep this same what do you call it, like energy and just everything that they were doing towards the end of that first half, I thought the second half was not going to be insurmountable. They were going to be able to come out and score the goals needed. So let's go ahead and look at some of these plays here and then just kind of talk through some of them, because I think there's a lot of interesting things too to talk about with Ustadi. Ustadi, he's the reason I think we got scored on, but he's also the reason why we didn't get scored on like 5 more times, which I think is really interesting to say.
It was good. It was good to see him back in the lineup because obviously Drake played last time, so everybody expected Ustadi to get back in. But he really, really freaked us out on that first goal. With when he punched that away, we all thought like, why didn't he catch it? He could have caught it. It looked catchable. Maybe it wasn't. I was really trying to justify why he didn't do it. Maybe he wanted to try to punch it away to get like a counter attack going. I don't know. And then Bright was a little too slow clearing the box, so and it just left everybody on side.
Yeah, I mean, I did look at that Yannick Bright. And the more I looked at it, I actually don't. I mean, maybe in slow motion, it looks like he has time. I don't know how much time he really had. Like really, really looking at it. That one I put more on Ustadi than I would Yannick Bright. But we can look at it here. It comes really
because there was a clip. On. There was a clip. I think it was in a replay after the goal. There was like Luis Suarez was just yelling at Bright. He's like "Salí, salí, salí," and like he didn't get it. So this is it right here. Yeah, he punches it away.
And I looked at that. I was not offside at all. You had Yannick Bright was keeping everybody, at least these two, was keeping them on side. See, so there
he did his best right there. Look, he did really good to try to slow him down there, but at the end of the day,
I think that was more of just unlucky. It's just
at that point
it's quick and there's not like it kind of just bounces off of him and just really unlucky. That's one of those goals where I don't know how much better you play it from a team perspective, other than obviously Ustadi maybe catching it, but other than that, it was just I don't know how much better you can do in that. But look, at the end of the day, I would have much rather that first goal come at minute 9 with an entire game to play.
Yeah,
it would have been worse
than in the last minute when we had to hold on. Yeah, no, I think if they were to score, I think it came at a really, really, really good time. But you see like how oh my gosh, it's honestly painful for me to see Bright be so far back. But I mean, like, hey, it is what it is. Like, he obviously wasn't expecting that.
And he's running out. Like, he's running out
right there.
And there's not.
And then there's a bounce there, or that's
a little bit lucky, I think.
I think so.
A little bit lucky, I think, as well. I want to get to some of these comments. So Ustadi not as good on the line, so not expect from him. So not expect from him miracles all the time. He's done a few important saves yesterday, though.
He had massive saves. He had massive saves.
That's why I said for me, Ustadi's game yesterday was interesting because there's a few plays that you look at. Obviously, one seems to have cost us a goal.
Yeah.
A couple others were like, "What the hell are you doing with Ustadi?"
Yeah.
Then you look at like 5, 6 other ones, and it's like we could have easily been down.
We should have conceded there.
So I think that's why you got to take some like things into perspective as well with Ustadi. But so that was the first goal, minute 9, early on in the game. Luckily, an entire game still to play, and that was a point that Matt was kind of talking about, and we were talking about earlier. Is just Inter Miami kind of losing their composure.
Look, there it is, right there.
Yeah,
there it is, right there, telling him to get up.
There's Buanga that the entire night was kind of a nightmare. Unfortunate there for Falcon that kind of just trips there. That was not that good of a kick on goal by Tillman. But
Bouanga should
I
have
don't
shot
know.
that if that was on me. If I was him, he should have took that on all his own. He probably would have scored. He was cooking Chelo all night. He
Yeah,
was cooking Chelo all night.
yeah,
Look, look, he's getting through 3 defenders there. Like he
So
got through
I
Chelo,
saw
Falcon,
exactly.
and whoever else.
Yeah, and I saw that play, and look, number one, that was awful. I think another bad play by Ustari early on.
Bad clearance, yeah.
And also on Cello. So I think number one, if you're Ustari, one of the things I like about him is the fact, and I think we've agreed on this, that he adds that kind of element that Calendar doesn't have, where he can help you get into transition a lot quicker because he can place a ball out in front of you as you run. But in this case was not a wise decision with a defender or somebody so close to Cello. And then Cello also, I think, I don't know if he didn't expect it, but he doesn't close in on it. He just kind of waits and gives the LAFC player the time to get there. But what's worse to me after this is what Bouanga is able to do to 3 defenders. And I just want to pause this here because this is kind of how I read the play, and I'm interested to kind of figure it out if you're reading it the same way I am. You have Bouanga. That's Bouanga, right? Okay, I'm not wearing my glasses. Yeah, Bouanga is right there, right? The guy that's closing in on Bouanga on the left side is Maxi Falcon. Chelo should know, okay, Maxi's got the left. So Bouanga keeps going to the left. Maxi Falcon has that covered. I need to make sure I cover the right side. There's 2 of us. I mean, I think it's common sense. Maxi, you get left, I get the right side. But then Chelo commits to the left too, where he's already got coverage. Completely leaves that opening on there. And I think that to me was just bad defending by Chelo. I don't know. Do you read it kind of the same way, or what do you see on that?
I think what I see exactly where you're coming from. Go back literally like 2 seconds, like a frame. Like literally go back a frame to like where they're showing that side angle, because you can see when Bouanga is pushing up ahead of Maxi and Chelo. At that point, they have to either communicate, or it has to be subconscious to the fact like, hey, right, like somewhere around here, like right here. You have to subconsciously or communicate with each other like, hey, who's going to be pressing, who's not going to be pressing.
Exactly.
If this was me, I would say Chelo needs to be pressing this. And I would put Maxi Falcon, assign him to the guy right there in the middle, or at least just keep him in front. Or just Maxi Falcon has to be in that lane and block that area, cover that area. Because now you have this space behind you. And if Bouanga would have just looked up right here, maybe he couldn't chip this over. And I don't know if it's Ordaz or whoever's in the middle there. He didn't read the space. I would have passed that into the space and hoping that my striker would be in that space. And so we got really, really lucky here. And we still honestly couldn't stop him.
Yeah. But that's unexcusable. I think we both gotta agree on that. Like that was just inexcusable. I know that he's fast and he's habilidoso. He can take players, but that I think when you've got 2 to 3 defenders, you can't do that.
And now it's forcing. Look, it's forcing. Now you can see here, Noah Allen is forced to drift to Markham, and now Ordaz is all by himself. Jordy's behind him.
Exactly.
That could have been that's extremely. It's very inexcusable. It's very dangerous, and
that goes in.
Poor position.
That goes in. It's almost. I mean, I know there's still a lot of time, but I mean, that goes in. You got to score 4 at that time. It's a complete another level of difficulty, I think, for this team.
That changes. That puts the game at a whole other level. Like that puts you in a situation that you don't want to be in. Putting 4, and we could have scored 4, but we at the end of the day we didn't. But yeah, no, like that's not the ideal situation. So.
I don't know if I'd be as good as Chelo, but I appreciate your confidence. I think I can play right back. I never liked playing right back when I played soccer, just because of the amount of running, just having to go up and down. And
that was literally my position as a
really. You played
right back and right wing. Yes,
dude. Look, there were times like the teams that I would play. There were some teams that were like, especially the Haitian teams. There's Haitian teams. Those Haitian players were probably the fastest players that I've ever played against in my life.
Yeah.
And there were times where I would see one of them coming at me, and I knew that the only way that I'm stopping this is
you got to foul.
It's just like absolutely demolishing.
You got to take him out, wipe him out.
And I'm like, I see him running at me, and I'm like, this is like, I'm getting a yellow. Like I know I'm getting a yellow. I would try to avoid
You know
a
what's
one-on-one
coming.
on the flank by the team. But so, anyways, I wasn't a good right back. It looks like probably Matt was a much better right back than I was. So I stuck to the midfield and sometimes
I'd still get cooked if I was in
yeah.
that situation too, man. Trust me. But no, yeah. I mean, luckily we didn't concede here. So I mean,
Yeah. So yeah. So let's keep going here. Hold on. I gotta. Okay. So that was that play. So then here.
so this is what 4 minutes later.
Yeah. I'm not sure if that was a foul, but the continuation of the play, and then
Yeah.
Messi, unfortunately, doesn't get the best touch on it. I think he.
But we
probably
were
would've
looking
wanted a
good
little more
there, though.
power.
There was something promising there. I think the ref. Oh, that's the free kick. That was the free kick. But it was something promising was there. We were putting some passes together, something that we weren't doing in the previous 20 minutes. And
Yeah.
we were doing like some little tiki taka. We were seeing some tiki taka that we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
And this is interesting with this free kick. I don't know what you thought in real time.
Well, I was really interested to get your thoughts. Is you
Yes.
do the reffing and you all do that. So I just know that in the press box, nobody knew
what happened.
because I think that the majority of what we understood is if you don't ask for a wall, you're free to play, right? But the difference in this scenario was that the referee took out a yellow card, and apparently what was being spoken was that if you take out a yellow card, you cannot continue playing until the ref blows the whistle. Like the blowing of the whistle is what initiates the run of play or playing again. So apparently, I don't know. I guess the ref maybe in the moment because there's so much going on, he forgot to do that. But he himself looked like he had counted the goal. He was going back to the midfield, and it looks like he got a call through the earpiece that said, "Brother, you can't do that. Like you've got to call it back. That you can't." So that's kind of what we got. Is that what you got, or what are your thoughts on that?
So it was very, very weird. So on TV, we saw the yellow being given. We saw the free kick being thing, and then they were showing the replay. So once they cut away from the replay, Messi scored, and they gave it as a goal. So we didn't see if he blew the whistle, he didn't blow the whistle, the wall, no wall, whatever. And you're completely right. Everything that you said is completely right. When there's a yellow card shown by the referee, it has to be a ceremonial free kick.
Yeah.
So the wall has to be set up. Doesn't matter if you ask for it or not. It has to be set up. It has to be, the whistle has to be blown. Everybody has to be organized and in order. In any other situation, if there was no card, you could play quickly and it was not a problem at all. And what you said at the end about the referee just giving it, that is what really threw me off. I'm like, the referee gave it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a VAR decision. I don't know if that's a fourth official decision because he was going to give the referee was going to give the goal. Yeah. So I'm like, if that happened in real life, no VAR, none of that, that's a goal anywhere else. If the referee forgot to blow it and he gives the goal, that's a goal.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was really confusing. So I mean, what happens, like the final decision was the correct decision, but it was really confusing how we got there because the referee should have known he had to blow the whistle. I have no idea. Like I don't know.
Like that is such. I'm not a referee, but I think if I was a referee, that's something I need to know. Like it's not that
you have to know.
Like it's not an oops. It's such a big deal.
Yes,
I think that there's no way that, and I cannot believe that he forgot that. Marked the goal, just was going back to the center.
Listen, you don't see that in rec. You don't see that in rec soccer, man. Like you don't see that in rec. You don't see that in travel. You don't see that anywhere. And so the fact that we saw it here was very worrying. It was very worrying.
And correct me if I'm wrong. It set the tone for the other things that we were going to see from this referee.
Yeah,
for the game. Like this was
absolutely
what the rest of the game looked like as far as really questionable things from this referee.
It almost got completely out of hand too.
It did.
Like in a lot of moments, it almost got completely out of hand.
It did.
But it also fired us up.
Yeah.
It also fired us up. I was scared that it was going to fire LA up a little bit and maybe get them back into the game. They ended up holding off for the rest of the half, but you can tell that we were very we were eager. Messi was very eager to score. Like he was very, very eager.
These are some of the things that, as you said, fires them up. It kind of like pisses them off. And everything's like, let's not piss Messi off. He's I
don't know if you've noticed, but Messi was so calm like throughout the entire game. I don't know if like you've ever noticed at all, but like he never reacted, he never yelled. And like when the camera panned to him, he was always like poker face, calm,
Yeah.
like
He was locked in.
When he was locked in, and like that's the most dangerous Messi you can ever face. When he's locked in, no emotion, like not at all. Even when calls went to VAR, like he would just be like, okay, like we're fine, it's okay, like we're fine. It was
That's
so
I think
dangerous.
what a proven leader kind of brings, and what this team needed, a sense of
Absolutely.
calmness. Because I had asked, I forgot if it was Tadeo Allende or if it was Telasco. I asked one of them. We got to speak to them in the mixer, in the mix zone. Not the mixer. Mixer sounds like we all have like the martinis. We're all like in the mixer, like all fancy and stuff. But no, in the mix zone, I asked one of them. I think it was Tadeo. I told him, like, how do you go through a game like this where there's just so many things going against you, right? There's so many blown calls, so many cards that should have been given that weren't. They take away 2 goals from you. How do you keep the composure? How do you keep focused? And he was just like, brother, there's no other option. We had to do it. We know what we had to do. We had a goal in mind. And it doesn't matter what happens, and it's true. And then I think that a big part of that is what you said, is just Messi and how he was during that game, just locked in, and people feed off of their leader. So
yeah,
that was definitely really, really important. So then the next play, this, I mean, look at Noah Allen, by the way.
I forgot about this. Yeah. We were pushing so high up, we had so much space.
Yeah, that was the part why we didn't want to see that first goal go in, because we knew that was going to open up spaces for them, just because of how high up we were going to have to play and how many more people we have to put in attack. But Noah Allen ran back on that play, like he's pretty fast.
Can I see that again? I'm sorry. Can I see that?
Yeah. I love how he recovered on that play. It was actually really fast.
Let me see this, because I was looking at Maxi honestly the whole time.
No, look at Noah's after this. Look at Noah's just recuperation on this play, and look how far back he is.
Oh wow! I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even notice that in real time.
Yeah, he did a really, really good job of getting back.
He still ended up getting in front of the attacker there. Look, look.
And this was unlucky too. Goes between his legs, but he did just really good, I think.
Wow.
To be able to.
He had a fantastic game. I don't think there's any denying on that.
No. I mean, he ended up being player of the game, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he was interviewed and that was amazing for him. But
and this is the next play.
Yeah, no.
Or is this like a couple minutes later?
You got Suarez here. Suarez had a good idea.
This is it. Yeah.
It takes a touch off of the defender, but Messi's able to keep control of it, and it was just a beautiful goal, man. And just great to have that come in the first half. Like that's a momentum booster, a morale booster.
It's a confidence booster.
Yeah,
it gets us in the game. It puts us in the game. It really, really put us in the game.
Imagine going down 3-0 at the half. That's tough. We really needed this one. But yeah, Suarez, again, not the picture perfect pass, but the intention was there. And look, Suarez maybe hasn't scored as much as he did last season to start the season off. Notoriously a slow starter, but he finds ways to put his imprint on the game, and this is one of them.
He provides, man. He's a giver. He's a giver. And Messi didn't look up one single time when he took that shot. Yeah. He had his head down, and then he just rockets it perfectly in the top right corner.
I love how he ran over to his kid, celebrated with the kids.
Yeah.
That was, that was a nice moment. Let's see. Suarez with the left.
Oh,
absolute
that's
rocket.
Right.
Absolute rocket. That was a really good shot.
Oh my gosh. I remember that. Yes.
And a great save here too. That was
probably the best shot. Honestly, when I go to these games, obviously, like when I see Suarez take a shot, that was probably the best shot that I've seen him take in a while.
I thought that went wide, and then I had realized that he actually blocked that. That was going in.
Yeah, no, 1,000% that was going in.
That was going in.
1,000% that was going in. Because it was was it a fingertip?
Like, he barely got it. It was so minute, like that I thought that it just went wide, but it was literally going in the bottom corner. Oh crap! We
Oh,
have
good.
yeah. We'll go ahead and skip this real quick so we can continue on here. Okay, so yeah, so then we go into the second half, tied 1-1. Obviously needed 2 more goals because of the away goal, and well, the away goal, but on aggregate, yeah, we would have lost because we were still
Yeah.
No, actually, they were winning 2-1 at this point on aggregate.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is where Inter Miami, I think, continued with that momentum coming out of the first half and just was able to create a lot more chances than they did.
Yeah, because that was something that, like I said, towards the end of that first half, that momentum really, really kickstarted, especially with that first goal. It really, really kickstarted us in that second half, because it was in the second half, it was honestly almost all us. And obviously they had some opportunities as well, some counterattacks, LA, but
that's where Ustadi saved us the most, was in the second half.
Yes, but that's because we were pressing so high up. We were just going.
I feel like Maxi did really good too. Maxi had a good game as well with Noah.
I'm trying. Oh my gosh, another like Maxi does really well here. Look, the recovery is very, very well, and then he ends up getting the block.
That's what these two guys do, Maxi and Noah. They may not, if they're caught out of position or anything like that, they're very quick to get back into the right spots and recover. And it's one of the things that.
Imagine if we had Kritsov and Toto back there.
Oh man!
Oh no!
I don't. Why would you bring that up? I don't want to remember that. Not so much Toto. I thought like Christoph. He was just he was a bit slower towards the end of his career. That could have been a goal right there. That was a really good save by Ustadi. That also had some speed on it too. So
yeah,
I think Ustadi, one of the saves that we've been talking about, that he really helped us there.
This really passing was really good. I remember this, and then unfortunately the shot couldn't get. There was no power behind it, but I thought the passings, we were able to link up very, very well.
And Messi again just floating everywhere. There were times where he'd be. It looked like he was a center back at some point. Like he was just he'd receive all the way back. There were times where he looked like he was almost off the field on the right side, where he was playing like a winger. He was playing out super wide. That's just the freedom that they give Messi, is basically be anywhere you need to be. And I think it also keeps the defense guessing, and he's not able to be man marked and all that stuff.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah. We needed that. We needed a roaming Messi, because it's too predictable to just have him there play in the middle the whole time, which I think is what will happen last time when we played the first leg. And so the fact that he was roaming around really, really allowed us to just get into more spaces, into places that we couldn't get in before, and it allowed LA to either spread out or just like start really thinking, because it's like, okay, where's Messi gonna go? What's Messi gonna do? Is he gonna pass? Is he gonna shoot? Oh, somebody's already open over here. Goal. And look, so what is this? An hour at the hour mark?
Yeah.
I forget what happens here.
This is already when Kremaski's in.
For Bright, yeah.
And then Telasco actually ended up moving back to play at Redondo in the midfield. So that was an interesting change. I think we hadn't seen this. This guy's a clown.
What happened there? I didn't.
Look, that guy's an absolute clown. Let's watch that again. Well, you can probably see he's still laying down at this point.
Is he? I completely missed that.
And at the end of the day, this ends up being Redondo doesn't even touch this. They first gave the goal to Redondo. Everybody thought Redondo had kind of hit that into the goal, kind of like chipped it back with his head, but that ended up being just no Allen. Nobody touched it.
You know what's crazy though? I checked it this morning. I checked the stats and stuff this morning. They actually gave that goal to Redondo.
They did?
They originally gave it to Noah Allen, and then I checked it this morning. They switched it back to Redondo.
I mean, I've seen every replay possible, and doesn't touch.
I thought it didn't touch Redondo either. Like I thought it was just a phantom, like
Look,
like
Ronaldo
you can see
goal. More here.
Like, you know what I'm talking about?
You can see it more right here. It doesn't change direction. It doesn't look even here.
Perfect.
It doesn't touch him.
No, I think it brushes his hair, maybe, but no, it doesn't touch him at all.
So on stats, it doesn't show Noah.
Nope. Here, I'm gonna double check. I'm gonna triple check. But yesterday it showed Noah, and this morning when I checked, it showed Redondo. Yeah, it's still Redondo. On FootMob, it's Redondo. On SofaScore, it's Redondo. Yeah, and then Noah Allen gets an assist.
Oh my God, this is probably the most controversial play one of maybe first or second most controversial. This is not offside.
Oh, the Suarez goal. Oh, don't even get
That's
me
not
started with the
offside.
Suarez goal.
I wanted to hold on. I have something that I wanted to.
Do you have an image?
Yeah, I have the image and I wanted to talk about it.
Let's do it.
Let me bring it up because it's see, hold on. I think I have it on my phone. Let me see if I can send it to myself real quick.
Yeah. Like this, and I'm sure everybody in the comments right now, everybody that's watching after the fact, I think we can all agree that this was 1,000,000% not offside. And the fact that there was no everything was wrong. The lines were drawn wrong. The camera angle was wrong. Everything that VAR and whatever and the production up there, like it was just wrong. It was completely wrong. And we were absolutely robbed of a goal. Absolutely robbed of a goal.
Yeah, we were. I found the image. Let me open it up and share it right now. I just thought it was really important to talk about this. Okay, so let's see. I have the image here. Let me go ahead and stop the. We'll come back right now to finish the game, but I think that this is really important to show. Let me see.
This is definitely.
Let's look for it here. Okay, here we go. Okay, look at this. This is the image that's been provided to show the offside. So if you're looking at this one, the blue line, I mean the blue line is supposedly where anything past that would be offside. That's where they're supposed to kind of set it up with the defender to see if he's offside. The red line is going to be where Luis Suarez is. I'm going to give you guys, before we say anything, chat, I'm going to give you a few seconds here. What do you guys see wrong in this image? We'll tell you now, but I want to see if you guys see. What do you see wrong with this image for the offside call on Luis Suarez? Anything stand out?
Everything.
Let's see.
Let's see what people say, because this is I can't believe like they really messed up on this. It's really
I cannot believe it either. I don't. Let me see. None of you guys are putting anything, so we'll go ahead and talk about it. Maybe you guys are shy on this one. And it's okay to be wrong. Maybe.
No, but I'm sure. Look.
Arm. So Michael says that it's the arm. So I guess he's alluding to probably.
Well, it's the shoulder. They drew the line on the shoulder, which is not wrong, but they drew the line on the wrong shoulder. It's the wrong shoulder.
Yeah. All right. Well, Matt, if you want, bring it up. What's wrong with this image?
This makes me very upset, man. Like I like, as a ref, like I said, like bringing back to the referee standpoint, like as a referee, as somebody who loves officiating and loves the science behind refereeing, this really irks me, because it's like, you guys are FIFA referees and everybody makes mistakes, but it's like, you can take the time to check this and you have the technology to check it and you still get it wrong. And it's not a good look. But you could see Suarez is leaning forward, and you can see the defender, I forget his name, Marlon, I think his name is leaning with him. He's right behind him. And then I think that's Valencia at the bottom there, number 14. So the lines that are drawn here by the officials, the blue line where the second to last defender is supposed to be, it's drawn on Marlon's shoulder. But you can clearly see, and in that case, maybe you can say that Suarez is offside if you're looking at Marlon's shoulder. But if you look at Valencia, who is right underneath the play, his shoulder and even maybe his knee or some other points, it's either on or ahead of Suarez. It's keeping Suarez onside. And I don't understand why. I don't know if it was rushed. I don't know if they genuinely didn't think that Valencia was keeping him on, because you can I know this is an off angle. Like, this is not straight on, but you can still tell that Valencia is definitely ahead of both of them. And it's a huge mistake from the referees on this one.
Yeah, they literally drew the offside on the wrong defender. They used the wrong defender to conclude whether it was offside or not. It's ridiculous. At this level, such an important game. I think this
could have been game changing. This literally could have knocked this out. If we didn't score later, like the penalty later, this would have been the referees would have knocked this out of this competition. And that is always the worst feeling.
Yeah.
Is to have a game be decided by a referee. That is always the worst thing. And as a referee, that is something that you need to completely prevent from happening. You don't want to be the person to decide a game. You want to let the game decide itself. And the referee almost decided Inter Miami's fate with this very huge, massive mistake.
Yeah, it was honestly ridiculous. There was also confusion too, because apparently on the screen, I don't know if you saw it. I couldn't see the screen, but there was talk that it was also called a foul or something. I don't know. Yeah, there was chatter about that. I don't know if it ended up being true or not, to be honest with you. But there was some chatter that they were looking for the offside. They couldn't find offside, but then they also ended up calling a foul. At the end of the day, I think it looks like more so they had called an offside than anything, because I didn't see any foul there.
Really? Yeah, no, I did not see any of that.
But
or
this
I didn't
is
hear. I didn't even hear anything about a foul being. I mean, what would the foul be?
and it's weird. Look, I don't want us to be gifted anything. Inter Miami. But at the end of the day, it's just weird that look, like Messi is your moneymaker. Let's be clear here. Why are you don't gift him things, but why are you doing so many things to like hinder this team and especially things that are, I don't know, they just don't sit right. They just don't, I don't know.
These mistakes or these decisions that are being called against us, it's like before it was like, in my head at least, before it was like, okay, bad decision makings, to referees are making bad decisions. This is not something new. But now it's getting to a point where it's very scary. It's like this is a scary amount of mistakes, like big mistakes that should not be happening at like FIFA level, like with FIFA referees. This shouldn't be happening. So it does get it raises a lot of eyebrows. It raises a lot of questions. And I don't know what's going on. It's weird. It's very confusing.
Yeah, it definitely is. Let's see before we continue on. It says, Gian, you were doubting Miami so much. You've seen what Messi and Co can do now. Bro, I was never doubting Inter Miami. I never doubted them at all. Like, I don't know where you got that from. What did I say? I need quotes. Bring the receipts. You're gonna say I doubted them? I need to see the receipts, Henry. All I said was 2 goals because my heart can't take a 3-1. And damn it, I almost didn't make it out of last night. It was really tough. But I knew it was gonna be tough, and I said it too. And
you wanted to be realistic.
I was being realistic, is what I said. I was being not be realistic, because that 3-1 was realistic too. I was just being more grounded and saying like I think that this is going to be a really tough match. I thought that, especially with Busquets being out, because we saw how much we missed Busquets, even though it wasn't Champions Cup last time where he was out. It was the MLS Cup playoffs. We missed him in a series there, which I think we could have won, and he made a big difference. It made a complete difference when he wasn't there. Obviously, us going into this game without him, I thought was going to be tough, and I said that's why I think it's going to be really slim, 2-0.
Great point.
And if there was ever a team that could do it, I said it from the beginning. I thought it was this team. That's what they were built for. That's what they brought in some of these names for, and they did it. But I didn't doubt them. So send me the receipts. What did it say? Do you think the aggregate goal should be removed for the next tournament?
The away goal?
He probably means the away goal. I mean, Europe has done away with that. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think, Matt? Do you think they should take the away goal?
I think yes. Because I mean, like when it was removed from Champions League, I thought it was like, in the beginning, I was like kind of confused about it, because I'm like, why would you do that? Because like it is harder to play away than at home. But then I feel like at the same time, it's also unfair when it's like, because we had to score 3. Like if they scored 1, we had to score 3, which like didn't make any sense. Like in theory, I guess when you talk about it, like when you look at it like from an outside perspective, it's like, well, okay, well, if we're tied, if it's 2-1, we're tied 2-2 on aggregate. Let's go to overtime because we both scored 2 goals. Like I don't know, but I think like I can live without the away goal rule.
Yeah, have they taken that out of Libertadores? I don't know.
I honestly don't know.
I have to figure out. I don't know if they've taken it out of Libertadores.
I want to say yes, but I have no idea.
I have to see. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. But I mean, honestly, for me, it's ni fu ni fa. Like I think I think I'm okay with either.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah,
a certain way on that.
It would have been like we would have already had the game at 2-1, and technically, if there was no away goal, so like away goal rule. Matt, I should give my regards to Ash and Gian, because Gian was doubting, because Gian was being a doubter.
Nah, man, you got to stop with.
I was being poetic. I'm here with the poetry, with the fairy tale ending, and then Gian kept me grounded. He kept us grounded.
You know what I think it was? It was just the timing of when I came in. Like it was. I think if it was just me from the beginning being grounded, and then you came out with the storyline,
sure,
then it would have been a little different. But you guys both came out with the storyline, and then I'm like, nah, bro, it's gonna be a lot more difficult. It's gonna be 2-0. I think like it was just the timing that probably made it
1000%.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no, but all right. So, but this team did it, and I honestly I never doubted them, so I'm just happy for them. It ended up being the 3-1.
Yeah,
and we survived. So all right, so 2-1 is where we leave this off at. We've got I can't see here. That was a nice cross into the area. That was a little came out wide. Tadeo. I don't think he had a bad game.
I think from coming off of an injury and missing a lot of games, I thought he did pretty well. Like, because normally when you come off an injury like that and you miss out for like what 3-4 games, and it was like a really long time. Like, because it was a couple of weeks, and normally your first game back is a little rusty, but I thought he did fine. He didn't look rusty. Like he looked like it was very average in my opinion, which was fine. Like I wasn't holding Tadeo to. I was trying very hard not to hold Tadeo to a really high expectation, because that's what everybody was doing. They were like, "Oh, we need to play Tadeo. We need to play Tadeo. Like he's gonna win us the game with this and that and the other." But I was trying to be like, as long as he doesn't throw the game.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I guess I wasn't to that extent, like if he's gonna win the game. But I thought that it was really important to have him there, just because he is a guy. He's second on the team scoring goals for us. He has 3 goals behind Messi.
He's a fantastic player,
and he's the guy that runs in behind into spaces behind the center backs, and he's done a lot of that. Where I haven't seen that much, at least at the beginning, from Suarez. He's behind Messi. He's been our biggest scoring threat. So I thought that he was going to be vital and really important to winning. And I also thought, like, if you don't have him, who are you going to put? Were you going to put Fafa? Like, I don't know. They're not really playing the same role, I think, right now. And then who are you going to put? Allen Obando, 18 years old, like in a game like this.
The first time around,
people were asking about Allen Obando, and it was like, dude, if we see Allen Obando, it's because we're in trouble. Like, for real. Like,
because we gave up.
Not that we gave up. We need a goal. There's 5 minutes left, and we took out everybody but Noah Allen in the back, and he's hit it by himself. Back line of 1, and you have Allen Allen, like, and a front 7 or 8. Like, that's, you know. Yeah. So, but other than that, Allen just got here. He's not gonna. So, anyway, yeah, I thought Tadeo was probably the best. But here we have the handball that I think is handball as possible. We'll see the replay here in slow motion. Right there, he literally extends his arm.
He has like a little chicken wing arm right there.
Yeah, to create as much space as possible. And everybody saw it right away. And it was funny because it was simultaneous. Like everybody behind the goal saw it too. It was.
Was it really?
I think they even caught it before the players did. Like as soon as that little chicken wing came out, the entire fan base behind the goal was yelling. Like,
no way!
Yeah, they saw it right away.
That's so
right
cool.
Away. So,
I didn't even realize that, because I just saw the players all turn.
Yeah,
I didn't even realize that the fans were doing it, or that they did it before the players.
Yeah, it was basically like simultaneous.
That's so funny.
I want to see. Wait, let's just read some of these guys. To tell you the truth, man, thought this was just a repeat of World Cup final. Ustari was our savior, like Emi Martinez, and Messi was there. I mean, that's a really good comparison. I think, like, as far as what happened last night. Yeah,
I thought the penalty was very poetic. I thought the penalty was very
100%.
It definitely gave Laurie some flashbacks.
We miss Ash. She was so positive about. What do you mean? We're all smiles.
What do you mean?
We're positive. You're talking about.
We're bringing that attitude.
I mean, look at for goodness sake, look at the YouTube thumbnail. We're there happy to be with fireworks behind us, hugging Messi, or Messi's hugging us. He asked if he could hug us. We said okay.
Yes.
I mean, how much more positive can you be?
That's so funny.
Can you be? Saw Baltasar's story. He was at the game. Pretty creative player when Busi.
He was at the game. I saw a picture of him, like, on his story.
Yeah, I gotta see how Baltasar would fit in. I want to go and look through more of his stuff. I've seen some of it, but we'll have to see how if
I'm
he's got
excited.
enough.
I'm excited to see him hit the field. But
yeah, anything to help this team. Okay, so we've almost done here. So this is the review, which I felt like it took way too long. It was clear as day, but it was just like I don't know how many more angles you need. He took
really, I think I was pacing like back and forth on in my living room, so I didn't notice how long it took because I was literally like walking back and forth, like this is a penalty, this is a penalty, this is a penalty.
Yeah, I mean that it doesn't get any clearer.
I mean, if the referee didn't remember to blow the whistle for the free kick, like, and now we're gonna be like, okay, say this is a penalty or not. I mean, come on.
That's a good point. A very good point. Yeah, same guy. I forgot to blow the whistle. Very true. This is a good point. So yeah, so he gives us there, and then I think that this is where I looked at Ashley. Ashley was next to me in the press box, and at this point I told her, just look at am I pale, because I was feeling like my body was like shaking.
Yeah,
like this was a big moment right here.
Yeah.
I'm like it was such a big moment that they threw a commercial at us here.
It's like we have to
Hold on,
the tension. We have to raise the tension a little bit, leaving you on a cliffhanger. But when I saw Messi step up to take that penalty kick, it literally brought me flashbacks of the World Cup. Like I'm like, dude, Messi versus Lloris again, like at a different stage. I know the stage is not the same. I know like we can never compare the World Cup final to a Champions Cup quarterfinal match, but just seeing those two players one-on-one again for a penalty, like in the MLS, like it's just crazy how like
some storylines repeat. Like it may not be exactly, it may not be as of importance as maybe another event, but like the storylines repeat, and it's some of the same characters. And in this case, it's Messi with another chance to save this team. This
was Lloris's redemption. They could have been his redemption to maybe save a penalty. You could see, I don't know if it's going to show, but when you could see him, boom, like he predicted left, which is the direction Messi went in the World Cup, and he ended up going right. Messi outsmarted Lloris once again.
I mean, it was so well kicked that because it wasn't a lot of power on it, but there was just the precision behind that. And then Busi there unfortunately couldn't be in the game, but just enjoying it as much as he can. But it was just wow, just perfectly placed. Okay.
I feel like if he put a hand up like this, maybe he would have fingertipped.
You know what it was too? There was that pause, that kind of how do I say? Messi didn't do the exact form of that kick that a lot of other players will do, where they have that big pause, but he did kind of have a small pause that I think just threw him off, threw the keeper off. This is where it got kind of scary. That
fingertip save, yes,
that is that was going in. Saving goal, like
that was literally going in.
That was going in.
Look, literally, guys, look right here. See the fingertips there, but look at where the net. That was going clear. Oh my gosh, he saved their life. He
saved. Yeah, he did. That's why I said Ustadi. He saved more than he let in. Like
if that goal went in, were we going extra time or we were gonna lose?
No, we were losing.
We were gonna lose, right? Okay.
Yeah, because it would have been 3. It would have been 3-2 here, plus the 1 away would have been 3-3 goal aggregate, and they would have won because they would have had 2 away goals.
Right.
0. So at that point, that goes in. You're talking about minute 88, needing to score 2 goals at that point.
Yeah.
Ustadi,
oh my gosh, 2?
Yeah.
You needed 2 for that?
Yeah, because then it would have been tied on aggregate. So we would have had to make it. We would have had to score.
Oh my god! Oh.
Wait, no.
Wait, no. Wait, because we're winning
3-3. We would have had to score 1. Just kidding. We would have had to score 1 more because we already had our third there. Sorry about that. We would have had to score 1 more